Yo, yo, this is it. I'm Mr. Fade, and you're listening to Attack of the Beats on IllMuzik.com. Here we are once again, another 5 beats, another 5 reviews, and took a bit of a break. I took a bit of a break the past week and a half or so. Took a little trip and just relaxed, and it was pretty cool. It was cool, and didn't do much, didn't go online much. And I think a lot of people need to do that, really, because you need to recharge every so often because, man, sometimes, the computers, the technology, I love it, but at the same time, it kills you, man. It kills you. So, anyway, I'm back. We're doing Attack of the Beats right now, and let's get right to it. First up, we got D's Beats with On Stealth Mode. Let's check it out.
Beats Eternal Productions brings to you the hottest producer, D's Beats the Wizard. Eternal Productions.
All right. Okay, so that was D's Beats with On Stealth Mode. All right, so for this one, obviously it's a trap beat, and it really works. I love the beat. It sounds really dope and everything, and I think if you put some vocals on this, definitely it's going to be a banger, because this is the type of beat, it definitely needs some vocals on it. It's great on its own, but this is a beat that somebody needs to bless, right? So I think it's great. It's just that there's a few things. Like, first of all, the mix. I know this is a big problem, especially for trap music, is that everybody just records very hot, very loud. So then you get this mix that's very, 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 very loud and stuff. So in this case, that's what's happening. You got this loud mix. So I'm checking my meter. It's in the red. So just be careful with that. There was nothing that was distorted or anything like that. But it's all clipping. So just keep your eye on that. The other thing is, I love the drums, love the hand clap snare, and it's good. Although I would bring the hand clap down just a bit. And the reason why is because if you're going to put some vocals on this, if let's say you're selling this beat to a rapper, for example, I think then you're going to need that space up there for the vocals, right? And I think the snare might interfere with that space a bit. That's just me being a little picky, but I think that's really an issue for a lot of people. So in your case, I would just bring it down a tad for the snare. And then the other part though was the about halfway through the beat you brought in this it was like a saw wave or something, and it's good. I like it. It fits the beat and everything, but I was just thinking, what if you keep the same pattern but just replace that saw wave with some kind of strings, because that would bring more emotion to the beat with the strings. With that same pattern, but just strings, and it would just bring emotion. And then with the vocals, boom, you got a winner right there. I just made you $1 million. Yeah, dope beat though. All right, so next up we got Grind Stars with Heat Talk. Let's check it out. right. Okay, so that was Grind Stars with Heat Talk. All right, so for this one, it sounds like a sample at the beginning that you have. Then you use it throughout. And the thing is, at the beginning, I hear the sample. I'm like, oh, this is nice. But then when you bring in the synth stuff, okay, you got that low-pitch horn. It doesn't match with that sample. So I would just get rid of that sample because the low horn, you're looping it over and over, and that holds its own. So I don't think you really need to add that sample to it because you're using the the sample which has strings, and I would say if anything, just use a synth string or some other kind of like some kind of plug-in for strings or whatever, because that sample string it's out of tune with the horn that you have. So I would just get rid of that completely. Just bring in some other synth like a plug-in, and or if you don't want to do that, then I was thinking piano would be good. Because that style of beat, and the reason why I'm saying that is because the drum work was actually really good. I really like the drums; they sound good. Drum work is really good, and that plus the horn. Since the horn's just looping over and over, you need some other kind of lead. So I thought piano would be really good on this, or like I said, the strings. If you want to just replace it though with a plug-in and do that, because it just didn't really fit. I mean, if you just had the sample looping over and over, then that's a different story because then you'd have this totally different sounding beat. But because of the drum work you have, I don't think it matches with that sample. And plus, like I said, it doesn't go well with those horns. So yeah, I would just change that up. The rest was really good. You had a little tubular bellow come in here and there, and a couple little change ups. So that was good. And but I think really the main thing is the drum work. That's really good. So even if you decide to just strip everything down, do it. But just keep the drums and just rework everything or whatever. But the main thing is that sample though. Yeah, I would just get rid of that because on its own it's okay, but with those with that low pitched horn that you have looping, no, I wouldn't keep that. But I did like the drums, some dope shit. All right, so next up we've got the Nile Beats with Lean Beam. Let's check it out.
Denial Beats.
All right. Okay, so that was the Nile Beats with Lean Beam. All right, so for this one, here's the thing. I think the tune itself, the melody itself is good. It works. Later on you have the strings that come in. It really complements it. It's good. I think the main thing is the drums, because you have the kick. At first, the kick, I was like, okay, it sounds good, but then I realized, okay, it wouldn't really work on its own. It kind of sounds like a heartbeat, so I would just get rid of that, use a different sounding kick. And the snare, I think the snare could just be changed completely. I don't think it really works in that case. That snare, I think if you use it, I would layer it if I were you. But the other thing was the 808 kick, because you're using that, and at first I was like, okay, it sounds okay, but then as it kept going on, I realized it just sounds like it's messy. Because 808, I've always told people 808 is great. It's a great thing. It's just that it really depends how you use it. If you listen to like the old school rap music, you're gonna hear the 808. Like the kick and snare, how it's used, and some of them they use it a lot or whatever. But still, it was compressed enough that it wasn't overwhelming. It wasn't a messy thing in the mix. So if you're gonna use 808, use it sparingly, and if you do, use it all throughout. Then make sure it's nice and tight. So compress it, make sure it's tight all throughout. And I think that mainly the drums. That was the main thing that I was thinking about when I'm listening to this thing, because the rest is really good. But on the other hand, the overall mix itself, I don't know how. I don't know what you're using for the mix. I don't know what kind of DAW you're using, or whatever. But I just find the whole mix was very much in the high range. It wasn't there wasn't too much of the low end, let's say. Like I just think the bass wasn't really there. So I don't know what you were doing for the mixing, but I don't know. The mix sounded too thin to me overall. So too bright, I should say. Yeah, that's the word, bright. Just too bright. So I don't know. Like I said, what you're using. Maybe post in the forums when I post this show. Let me know or whatever. But I don't know. Like it just sounds very, very bright. So I would definitely work on that part in the mix. But like I said, the rest is okay. It's just that I just think that the drums is the main thing that needs to be reworked, and then take a look at the mix and see what you're doing. So. All right, so next up, we've got, how do you pronounce this? The Originals, and I don't know how to pronounce that. All right, The Originals and with Sus. All right, let's check it out.
Zan on the bloody beat. Zan.
All right. Okay, so that was the original Zan. Now that I listened to the song, I can hear the beginning, the original Zan. And I don't know, man. It's like it's all one word. What the hell am I supposed to know? With Sus or S-U-S. All right, so okay. So with this beat, here's the thing: is that the sample you're using, I'm not crazy about it. Okay, I don't like that the sound of it really. But the thing is that type of sample would definitely work if you're using, like, if you're making like some kind of gutter beat, you know, like one of those like 90s boom bap gutter beats or something like that, where you have, you know, somebody, some rough MC spitting over it or something like that. It would work in that case because that's the style, you know, but not what the drums are using. You know, like let's say you have that sample with like some really dirty drums on it. With lots of cymbals and stuff like that, you know what I mean, like something like that. I think that would be more appropriate for this type of sample, but for what you use, I think it's really good. Although, like I said, I would use a different drum style and pattern or whatever, but it is good. And then halfway through, when you just kind of looped it and then you played around, like you put it in reverse or whatever and brought in the bass, that was really cool. But that's when I really noticed how the mix was, because the beginning I can hear the kick was thumping a lot, so it was really in the red. But then when you brought in the bass, it was like, okay, now it's really in the red. So just keep an eye on that, because I just find the bass could be definitely lower in the mix, and just the overall mix needs to be lower because it was pretty hot. But yeah, it's still one of those gutter beats that you have. That's good. And but the thing is that it's one of those beats too where it's just like on its own it's okay. But I would definitely like to hear a rapper on this, because I think that's what's more appropriate for this beat, you know. But on its own, I like it. It's just I would just make a few changes to it, and I would just make I would go with the sample and make it as my lead, right? Like lead the way with the sample, and then follow up with some gutter drums and whatnot and stuff like that. So yeah, try that. And if you don't want to put a rapper on top of it, I mean, then if you just want to leave the beat on its own, maybe just have some vocal snippets on it, and that'll do the trick. And I think that would really, really work. But yeah, some cool stuff. All right, so next up we've got the last beat. It's Young Thrive with Immaculate. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was Young Thrive with Immaculate. All right, so for this one, I think it's a really good beat. You know, at the beginning, I'm thinking to myself, okay, this beat, it needs some kind of life to it. It needs to be a little more exciting, whatever. But as I'm listening to it, I'm like, no, it's really good. It's a good beat. And I think that the thing is, when you have that sine wave, that synth thing, you got, looping all the way throughout. I think you just need, to make just give it a break a bit, just have like a little change up where you take it out and just have the piano part and all that stuff, because the piano is really good. I like that. And that you could play all the way through, because it's piano. It sounds really good. It's a nice little pattern you have. But the other little thing, I would just like take it out once in a while, because it does get a little repetitive, a little annoying after a while. But The beat's really good. The drums, though, that's pretty much the thing that really bothered me was because, first of all, you get the snare, which is it sounds like it's in stereo, so it's I wouldn't do that. I would just keep it, mono, add some reverb to it, because you got the space for it. You could use it, not too much, but just a bit. And the kick is one of those little kicks, I hate those little kicks. It's like a little too punchy, I don't know. It's like one of these like punchy flat kicks. I don't know. It sounds like a rock drum kick or something like that. I don't know. That's what it sounded like to me, but I don't like those types. I would use something, a little fatter, try that. That way it would give it a little more bounce in the beat. But maybe that would bring it some more excitement to it, whatever. But overall, I do like it. I think it's just, you just need to tweak a few things. That's the main message I'm telling you here. Is it's just, and that's for a lot of people. I think is that just the beats that are being sent in here, they're really good. I think there's just a couple little tweaks here and there and stuff. Some people need a lot of work done on their beats, but some of them no. It's like in your case, no, just a couple little tweaks like that. Try that and see how it works. And I think for sure it'll make a big difference. So, all right, so that's it for me. I'm Mr. Fade. This is Attack of the Beats. Keep sending your beats in. I'll keep reviewing them. And my favorite beat is, drum roll please, These Beats with On Stealth Mode. Let's check it out.
Beats Eternal Productions brings to you the hottest producer, These Beats the Wizard.